But you've got we obviously known each other many moons, and you're obviously well known within the industry and really trusted personality from around the business. We've got something here today. Do you mind just, so it's the TMS group, can you just really give us just a really brief overview, elevator pitch style, so that people understand what we're going to be talking about?
Okay, yeah, and I think, to be fair, it's probably easier as well, nice if I sort of explain how I got involved with these guys, because I've been working with them for about 6 years now in a non-exec director role. I was introduced to the two principals by our good friend Stephen Brown some time ago. And effectively what these guys did back in 2008, they had a vision and they wanted to replicate the engagement platforms that are used quite a lot in the States and Australia, specifically in the property sector, in that people work as consultants, but contracted consultants within organisations. So what they did back in 2008, they put a submission through to the Revenue with the help of BDO, who were obviously very, very well-known accountancy firm, and Berwin Leighton Paisner, who are a specialist employment law company, solicitors and law firm. And basically what they did was they put a submission through saying, look, we're going to take a guy out of a state agency. He's employed at the moment. We're going to put him back in, but he's going to be self-employed. And this is why we believe he can be. And effectively that submission went in, and some 7, 8, 9 months later, going backwards and forwards, eventually the Revenue came back and said, right, okay, we approve this for anyone working in that particular sector. Now, obviously the property sector was the first of many. We now work in probably 15 different sectors. But as I say, I was introduced to the guys back in, well, it's about 5 or 6 years ago. And since then, we've worked, I've introduced it to not only people in our sector, but I've got friends in the automotive sector as well, recruitment, that sort of thing. And it's basically for any business that has got sales orientated backgrounds, let's just say, people on flexible incomes. It works really, really well. So it's a platform which allows people to see more money in their net pay packets, whilst also the businesses see big savings on their fiscal responsibilities. So NI payments go out the window.
You've got big wins there, both sides. Then.
Yeah,
the business is doing better and the individual's doing better.
Exactly that. Yeah.
And sorry, I just interrupted you. And where are those saving elements coming from?
Okay, so basically by a simple transition. And that's all it is. People if you're employed, and I'll just use an estate agency as an example. If you're employed by an estate agent, a simple shift in your contractual arrangement with that estate agent, or with one of the suppliers, many of the suppliers that work with you guys, a simple shift in and transition in their status basically means that there's huge savings for the business on national insurance and workplace pension. So obviously with the cost-cutting element, that will see probably 15% plus savings on payroll. For the individuals, they can now utilise all the expenses, expenditure and allowances that Revenue allow self-employed people to take advantage of. So somebody typically, Simon, on 35 grand a year will probably see, and it will depend on their personal circumstances, but an extra £300 a month or so in their net pay packet. So it's not to be sniffed at.
It's absolutely not to be. I mean, you're talking about there to see an extra 10% more money in your pay packets at exactly the time we are. We were joking about it before, but at a very real cost of living crisis with inflation running at 10%, and on some levels even more than that. So there is no quick way other than just throwing money at it and giving people a wage of being able to alleviate some of these real everyday issues.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very current, obviously, as you just alluded to, but also as well, what businesses, and we're seeing a lot of businesses that we've been working with for 10 years or so coming back to us and saying, look, we've got probably 50% of our people working as consultants on your platform. Can you speak to so-and-so and so-and-so? Because, they're now starting to feel the pinch, and they've been sat next to, they could be sat next to somebody at the same desk doing exactly the same job, but seeing less money in their net pay packet. So it's very current in that respect. And, it's at people's fingertips. You don't have to go. Businesses are, always looking, how can we improve revenue? How can we improve that bottom line? How can we see more money? This is there. All you've got to do is transition a few people. And Go on.
I was going to say, but completely voluntary for them. So this isn't about anybody
Yeah.
forcing an employee to go down this route, is it? The employee
No.
has the ability to sit there and say, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't want to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And the last thing they'll get from me is a sales pitch, believe me. I mean, we're very, very transparent. We tell everybody, and if there's people that we think for whatever reason shouldn't do it, we will tell them that they shouldn't do it. We'll tell them to stay as they are.
Steve, let's be really honest. One of the reasons I insisted you came on this is because actually we took advantage of this ourselves. You were explaining this to me, and actually we were talking about potentially how we might. And one of our guys, our sales guy, said, "Absolutely, we're gonna, you know, why would I not want to take?" And just to put some context around that, you know, some people get worried about their level of, you know, administration or how long it's going to take. I mean, it was the most simple of processes that could possibly have taken place.
Absolutely. The transition is simplistic. It really is. It's seamless. And also as well, one big thing that individuals, I think, have always worried about in regards to self-employment is all the, I'll use the word crap that comes with it. So self-assessments, you know, getting involved with accountants, tax returns, all that sort of thing. We do everything for them. It's all done for them.
Yeah.
And you know, the great thing about it is the way we set it up, and I'll happily jump on the Zoom with any of your people who want to talk to me about it. For the individuals, it costs them nothing. So you know, there's national insurance savings as well, and it really is a way that at the moment people can effectively see a 10-15% pay rise just by transitioning their contractual arrangements.
And doesn't affect things like holidays at all, like that. Is it in terms of how do you cater for that side of things when you're moving over on the administration side of things?
We encourage every business to operationally treat the consultants the same as they would treat employees. Okay. So from somebody who's making the transition, we basically say to the businesses, look, operationally change nothing else. You know, the advantage you're seeing, you're going to see financially anyway by, you know, the savings on your payroll costs. You don't need to start looking at holidays or, you know, changing people's hours or whatever. Everything else stays the same.
So it's really ticks in the box, but you get these benefits. Okay, for someone who's going to be really cynical, and I always challenge myself on this, you know, those ones where it sounds like it's too good to be true. The key point here, though, is that actually this isn't doing anything, you know, ostensibly outside of the realms of proprietary, is it? This is actually what you said yourself, I think, before. It's working hand in glove with one of the world's biggest accountancy firms to have made this right, and getting approval again, isn't it, from HMRC or whatever else, that this is all ticks in the box.
Yeah, and we can, you know, any individual businesses that we speak to, we're happy to provide them with documentation that shows what we're doing is right. I mean, there's been talks about various schemes and umbrella. You know, I get asked about umbrella schemes and that sort of thing. We're not that. We're not an intermediary. You know, people bring up throw up IR35, which I suggested we discuss, because I think a lot of people are misinformed about IR35. They don't really understand what it's about. But we're not that. We're not an intermediary. We're not an umbrella company. We're basically we act on a consultancy basis with the business to allow their people to work that way. So our only arrangement, as such, a contractual arrangement, is with, as you know, is with Kerfuffle rather than with the guys that are taking advantage of the platform. But the great thing is, look, we're there to support everybody. We support the business, we support the individuals. We're more there for the individuals going down the road, because they're the ones that it's probably a little bit more newer to. You know, they're not used to it. And we're there the whole way down the road for them. And again, you know, once I speak to any particular individual or any particular business, I'll explain to them exactly everything we do.